sniffing tool, we will just understand what is sniffing. Sniffing meaning sniff the data, scratch the data. That we call it as sniffing. So there are sniffing tools are available. The sniffing in this particular chapter we will learn sniffing concept, sniffing techniques for MAC attack, DHCP attack, ARC poisoning, spoofing, sniffing tool. All these things we will see one by one. What is the concept of sniffing? You can see in this diagram there are three kind of people are there. One is external sniffer, one is wireless sniffer, one is internal sniffer. Person who's there inside your network and they are sniffing the data, then we call it as internal sniffing. The person who's there inside the network and if they sniff the data, we call it as internal sniffing. Now assume the person is outside the network and that person is trying to get the data, sniff the data. Sniff the data means intercepting and taking the data. Then we call it as external sniffing. Now the person is through Wi-Fi, they are going to sniff the data. Then we will call them as Wi-Fi sniffer. These all are the categories of sniffer. Now again I am defining active sniffing and passive sniffing. Just read the content. Active sniffing and passive sniffing. Active sniffing means directly I am involving the target and I am doing the sniffing. That time I call it as active sniffing. If I am not directly involving the traffic and if I am doing the sniffing, then I call it as passive sniffing. These all are the two different types of sniffing methods are available in the system. Now, passive I said it is not directly involving. Now, sniffing attack, the hacker can use Wireshark to do the sniffing, TCP dump, dsniff, network miner, Kismet. All these tools are the sniffing tools. So I will just keep it like that, tools for sniffing. Just I am taking it, just done it with the sniffing tool heading. So we will see this practically. Wireshark, TCP dump, network miner, dsniff. So let's see. Hello, hello. എടി ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ എപ്പോഴോ എന്റെ മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടു ഇത് ഞാൻ ക്ലാസ് എടുക്കാറുണ്ട് എപ്പോഴാണ് മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തതെന്ന് എനിക്ക് ഓർമ്മയില്ല 10 മണിക്ക് എ സി 11 മണിക്ക് നോൺ എ സിയില് നിന്റെ ട്രെയിനിൽ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ചെയ്യാം എന്റെ ട്രെയിനിൽ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ നിനക്ക് എന്താ തോന്നണേ നിന്റെ ട്രെയിൻ ആണെങ്കിൽ നാളെ ചെയ്താൽ മതി അല്ലേ So these sniffing tools that need bit installation, no need to worry for that. I'm going for Wireshark command here. Wireshark enter. When I am going to show you how Wireshark sniffing can happen. Now I'm starting the sniffing. I am opening some file. Here I am typing any website demo.testfire.net. I click on the sign in option. Any username I am typing, any password I am typing. Okay. Now go to the Wireshark result. Sniffing is going on. I stop the sniffing. The data is still there. I can put a filter because the browser activity I am going to see. I just written HTTP filter. I can see many lines one by one. I am checking the lines. What is the content? See, you can see here also you can read the content. I am just keep on changing the content. See, this detail is coming here. This detail is coming here. Now I am going and keep on going ahead. I'm just selected this line to understand the more information. Right click, follow HTTP. Just look, can you see the password anywhere? I am also checking it. Slowly, move your content down, move your content down. Slowly, move your content down. Here you can see the username and password. I hope, see, Rima is the user UID, Rima, password, Rima. This is the way we can sniff the data in any of the system. Hope it is very clear to you. Now I am going to a conclusion here. We completed the module 8 we completed here. So I'm just for reference, I'm typing module 8 here. Now you can see this is the way we can do it. We just completed the sniffing part and malware part. Now the next chapter we will do social engineering. So for reference, I'm just typing here module 9 to start in our next session. Today it is Thursday. Tomorrow we will go for social engineering. And then again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 3 more sessions left because this is a 8-week session. Now we can complete our remaining topics in our upcoming session. So any doubt, anytime you are having, you can keep asking the doubts. You can understand the thing, talk to a instructor option is there. I will get the message directly in my computer. I can go through the content. Okay. So we done here. Network miner you can use for network related. Basically any one tool you know, things are same only. Now sniffing technique, MAC attack. MAC attack meaning every system when it is having a MAC table. MAC table meaning where it is giving information about the IP address and the MAC address. That table we call it as MAC table. Here it is given. I can flood the, it is also called CAM table and MAC table same only. CAM, MAC, CAM. Now, here you can see content addressable memory, CAM it is called. Here it is having MAC address information present in this thing. MAC flooding means I am just sending multiple activities which where MAC related information is going. Then what will happen? It has to store in the switch. So switch multiple example there is assume there is normal 10-15 activities happening. Instead of that I am flooding with activities meaning it can be 20-30 activities at a time I am sending. That scenario it will be flooded with IP and the MAC table will become full and it will not respond. That activity we call it as MAC flooding. So MAC flooding, I think, hope you clearly understood the MAC flooding. Now, DHCP attack. All the DHCP meaning Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol meaning it is DHCP is giving IP address to the computers. Now what hackers are doing? Hackers are sending a link or message to the victim. When victim respond to that, that is going to the attacker's DNS server instead of going into the actual server. When any computer you connect in the network, how it is getting IP address? It is getting IP address from the four options: discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. This activity we call it as DORA. Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. So how the client is getting the IP address, that activity we call it as DORA. How it discovers. Sniffing technique, ARP poisoning. ARP table meaning the computer's MAC address and IP address is present, that we call it as ARP table. I will go to the terminal and I will show you ARP space -A. Here you can see the IP address and MAC address. Now Using any of the tool, we can manipulate it. Then we call it as ARP poisoning. Just listen here. Using any tool, we can manipulate it. Instead of giving the IP address instead of giving the actual MAC address, if you want, you can manipulate it through poisoning. ARP is the protocol that make it possible for network messages to get particular device. Now you can see here ARP converts media access control to IP address. Reverse ARP meaning IP to name conversion. Reverse one IP to name, we call it as reverse ARP. Now there are sniffing techniques are there. Sniffing meaning I said when two are communicating, we are taking the data that we call it as sniffing. Similar way DNS sniffing also possible. Sniffing tools, these all are the sniffing tools. We already done Wireshark in our system. Now countermeasures. Any kind of activity which is coming in the system, we should take care, we should understand how it is happening, why it is happening. So everyone, thanks for attending the session. Now next topic we will do in our next session, that is social engineering.